For 3 long years, Kanishi devoted his entire existence to a single game. The game was infamous. A vast fantasy RPG praised for its merciless difficulty, its layered mechanics, and its complete disregard for casual players. Enemies punished mistakes instantly, resources were scarce, and progress demanded absolute mastery. Most players abandoned it in frustration long before reaching the later stages. Kanishi did not. Night after night, he studied patterns, memorized enemy behaviors, optimized builds, and dissected every system the game contained. Failure became routine but never discouraging. Each defeat was simply data, something to be analyzed, understood, and overcome. And eventually, after 3 relentless years, he cleared it. Now, alone in the dim basement that served as both his room and refuge, Kanishi leaned back in his chair and stared at the ceiling. The monitor still glowed faintly beside him, displaying the final completion screen. The game had been miserable, exhausting, and undeniably exhilarating. Yet as the initial rush faded, an uncomfortable truth settled in his chest. It had never truly challenged him. No matter how long it took, no matter how punishing the systems were, victory had always felt inevitable. He had struggled, yes, but never reached his limits, never felt truly cornered. And that realization filled him with dissatisfaction. Kanishi did not crave comfort or praise. He wanted a trial, something so unforgiving that it would take 10 years, perhaps even longer, to conquer. A challenge that could not be beaten through patience alone. A game that would demand everything he had. Something that could break him. Driven by that desire, he turned back to his computer and began searching for his next challenge. He scrolled endlessly through game titles, reviews, and recommendations. Hard games, hardcore games, impossible games. None of them stirred anything within him. Then, without warning, the screen flickered. The image distorted violently, static crawling across the monitor as though the machine itself were malfunctioning. Before Kanishi could react, the display went dark, and a single message appeared, written in deep crimson letters. Do you desire a game that never ends? A fantasy world filled with magic and monsters. A challenge beyond human limits. Kanishi's breathing slowed. A game that never ends. The concept alone made his heart pound. The idea of an endless challenge, one that could never truly be conquered, was everything he had ever wanted. Without hesitation, he clicked the message. A new interface appeared, clean and simple, prompting him to choose a difficulty level. Easy. Normal. Hard. He didn't even pause. Scrolling down, he noticed one final option at the very bottom of the list. It had no description, no warning, only a name that radiated hostility. Hell Mode. Kanishi stared at it, his lips slowly curling into a smile. He had never seen anything like it. This is it, he whispered. He selected Hell Mode, chose the Summoner class, and pressed Start. The moment his finger clicked the button, the screen exploded in blinding white light. Before he could even scream, an overwhelming force seized his body. His vision twisted, his sense of balance vanished, and it felt as though his very soul were being torn from him. The world shattered. The next thing he experienced was sound, crying, his own. Kanishi awoke as a newborn child, screaming as air filled unfamiliar lungs. Rough yet careful hands held him, and a man's voice spoke clearly. Alan. That was the name given to him. Strangely, Alan did not feel panic. In his previous life, he had been a 35-year-old man trapped in a dead-end job, living a hollow routine with no future. Compared to that emptiness, this new life, confusing as it was, felt warm, hopeful, a second chance. Though his body was that of an infant, his mind remained intact. He could think clearly, understand the language spoken around him, and observe the world with calm awareness. He quickly realized that the language used was Japanese, and that this world followed rules eerily similar to those of a game. Alan was born into a poor frontier family living in an undeveloped village. His father, Rodin, was a hard-working and kind man who labored tirelessly to support his family, paying heavy taxes to a ruling lord in exchange for the right to cultivate land. His mother, Derzia, was gentle and loving, and from their closeness, Alan sensed that siblings would soon follow. That night, as he lay quietly in his cradle, a memory resurfaced. He had chosen the Summoner class. Determined to confirm it, Alan focused his thoughts and attempted to open a status window. Instead, a massive grimoire materialized in mid-air before him. The sudden sight startled him so badly that he cried out. Instinctively, he dismissed the book just before his parents rushed into the room. Seeing nothing unusual, they assumed he had cried in his sleep and quietly left. Once alone again, Alan cautiously summoned the book back. The grimoire floated silently before him, its pages turning on their own. It contained his stats, abilities, and growth. It confirmed the truth. He was a summoner. At his current age, his summoning options were limited to insects and small animals. Even so, excitement surged through him. His first attempts at summoning failed repeatedly, leaving him confused, until he noticed another ability listed in the grimoire: creation. When he activated it, a glowing card materialized before him. Only by creating a summon card could he summon the creature bound to it. The following morning, when his parents weren't watching, Alan succeeded. A large grasshopper appeared, and immediately jumped onto his face. Startled, Alan tried to command it, only to realize it completely ignored him. Checking the grimoire again, he discovered the reason. Summoned creatures required names. He named the grasshopper Denka. Moments later, his mother entered the room, screamed in terror at the sight of the insect, and killed it instantly. Denka vanished without a trace. Alan did not give up. He continued experimenting, eventually summoning a small mouse named Mousy. Though disobedient, Mousy possessed a skill called Scurry, allowing it to move at incredible speed when commanded. Day after day, Alan studied the grimoire, analyzing every line, every condition, every limitation. Progress was slow and often frustrating, but he refused to stop. Months later, his father returned from a dangerous hunt, proudly displaying a massive boar he had slain. Seeing the monster's sheer size and power made Alan acutely aware of his own weakness. It became his first benchmark. 10 months later, Alan reached level 2. He gained the ability to create G-rank summon cards, unlock fusion, and expand his inventory. Even so, fusion initially failed. His body and mana were still insufficient. Time passed. By the age of 3, Alan finally succeeded in fusion, creating a bat summon named Chappie, which possessed voice mimicry, the ability to perfectly imitate his voice. The possibilities thrilled him. This world felt like the ultimate hardcore game. At 5 years old, Alan participated in the Divine Talent Ceremony, overseen by the goddess Elmia. To everyone's shock, he was declared talentless. Only Alan knew the truth. His grimoire revealed that his stats were ranked E because he was playing on Hell mode. Later that night, Elmia herself sent him a message, revealing his true hidden stats, on par with prodigies like his childhood friend Krina. At last, Alan understood. He was the only one playing this world on Hell mode. And no matter how cruel, unfair, or impossible the path ahead would be, he would clear it.